What we're not going to do today is let no outside agitators make nobody distract us. So let's just remember why we out here. So before we start, I want to thank the organizer of Cap Car. Shout out to the organizer of Cap Car. Shout out to OBS for allowing us to be able to work with them today on a very special day. So today is National Police Brutality Day. Y'all know what today is? I can't hear y'all. Y'all know what today is?
Hands in the city. You never have hands.
There we go. Yeah. So, for the last, I'm 26 decades. For the last couple years, I'm going to ask Mama Jamala to come up. For the last couple years, where she at? Come on, Mama. And also, when everybody was jigging, y'all stopped, she still was over there jigging. So, y'all need to learn. For the last couple years, they have been leading on this day and talking about the importance of this day. Over the last couple years in the city of St. Louis, to make sure that we don't forget. They've held creative action.
I mean, come on.
They called out people, and they talked about the importance of why we must never forget this day, why we must continue to organize, and many other days we must not forget, but why we must take to the streets on this day, and why we must continue to take to the streets. So there's no other person that can say it better than the Queen. If y'all don't know her, if you don't know her, before the end of the night, make sure you introduce yourself to her. Because when we talk about doing this work, we always say this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. When we talk about doing this work,
I'm not. You look like one. You're a fucking sentinel of the dead.
Individuals that have paved the
Y'all about to
way
get
for us
wiped
in
off the face of the
2014
earth.
to change the
Y'all
world.
commit mostly suicide.
She's one of the individuals that has been pushing for injustice.
You understand, brother?
Most of us have probably been born. I know I'm 26, so it's already out. That's what yeah. But most of us have been born and continuing to
you understand?
mentor
y'all ain't
young people,
even if y'all were, I couldn't
educate, and give us knowledge on how we can take all the great work that she's done and many others and continue to push forward. So it's an honor.
So you understand that y'all ain't here out to fight for the homeless people.
Together, I received an award from her years ago.
She doesn't give a shit.
Now I'm out the streets with it.
No, she doesn't. You understand what? Do you feel about
it? Over to the Queen herself, Mama Jamala, to talk about what today is. Y'all make it loud.
God, like, already did the intro that I was going to do, so that you learn well. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. Radical greetings from the Coalition Against Police Oppression. We've been doing this for over 10 years. I think it's 25. So maybe when you're 1 year old. But the reason that we've had to do
There's
this,
a lot of things
police
I can see, but
violence
it would be for,
like a disease,
first off, I don't like
like
that these users out here.
It's not just here in St. Louis.
They're not accomplishing
It's not just here in Ferguson.
on behalf of their
It's
masters because they're too cowardly to go through this.
That's why we had to have a national
ridiculous.
day against police brutality.
No, you are.
Each one of these years, we use this day to lift up whatever action that we needed to highlight. This year, obviously, is defunding the police. But other years, we have done different cases that have been brought before us. We've done policy issues. But this is the time that we highlight and get energy from each other to continue to struggle ahead. Because it's not just about one day, right? The other reason we do this is about stolen lives. That's also a process of national
right here.
He needs mental health. He doesn't need help. I'm going in front of the sign. About to do his ass.
Okay, I understand what you're doing, but come on, closing down roads for a bunch of losers protected by the party.
Well, we're not able to do that today.
Aren't the cops so nice?
Fucking asshole.
He's a good example why we out here. He's a damn good example why we out here.
First of all, we thank CAPCAR for allowing us to join with them in this initiative. It's important for all of us to understand that we are one family, but we do understand and we pay respect to those who have been putting in the time and putting in the work all these years. So to Mother Jamala and others, we thank you again. I know we have two other speakers before. I know Brother John, come on up. And then after that, yeah, Keith Rose. And then after that, we have Frank from Washington. How's everybody? Can you hear me? No. Am I doing this right? A little louder. Just a little louder. I ain't gonna kiss it. How about now? Yeah. Okay, so I've been asked to come and do a brief explanation of Operation Legend. As you guys know, there's been it started out with 50 federal agents.
New messages received from Bill W. Donuts.
Federal agents who
descended upon St. Louis in August. St. Louis was one of 9 cities where where the Trump administration and his Attorney General William Barr say that the prosecutor and the police here are not effective in battling crime, so they need some help. And Operation Legend is named after a 4-year-old boy in Kansas City, Legend Talaferro, who was killed by a stray bullet. So you see, they're using the pathology in our neighborhood as a pretext to bring federal agents on the streets of St. Louis. Now, those federal agents, since they've been here, they've arrested 650 people and charged 274 of them with federal crimes. That is the most.
Are they getting locked up too?
That's a good
For
question.
their crimes?
So that's the most people that's ever been arrested or charged in this Operation Legend. Now, so why is Attorney General William Barr focusing on St. Louis so tough?
Divide and conquer.
Well, let's take a look at it. You have a black prosecutor here named Kimberly Gardner. And she helped oust the sitting governor, Eric Greitens. And Eric Greitens was a Trump ally. So is this retaliation for that? And then, of course, we have the gun-toting McCloskey. And Patricia and Mark, the lawyers that drew an assault rifle and a pistol on some peaceful protesters in front of the mayor's house. So Kimberly Gardner prosecutes them. And what does Missouri Senator Josh Hawley do? He asked the Department of Justice to investigate her for civil rights violations of the McCloskeys. What does Trump do? Trump defends the McCloskeys and criticizes Kimberly Gardner.
It's all right.
Old boys club.
Okay, so is this retaliation for that? Is that why we have to deal with these federal agents on the streets of St. Louis? Arresting people and charging people? Well, let's take another look at something. Okay? How about how they use their apparatus to crack down on dissenters and protesters, peaceful protesters, in all of these different cities. Nowhere is that more evident in the recent extrajudicial killing of Michael Reinhold in Olympia, Washington. Here he was at a demonstration in Portland, Oregon that was disrupted by some right-wing vigilantes called Patriot Prayer, and a guy named Aaron Danielson approached Reinhold and one of his black colleagues with mace and a knife. So Michael Reinhold said he defended himself against this attack, and Aaron Danielson died. Okay? So then what did the police do? What did the Trump administration and Attorney William Barr do? They sent a fugitive task force of marshals and FBI to Olympia, Washington to track down Michael Reinhold. And witnesses on the scene say that they didn't announce themselves, but they just ran up on him and shot him 30 times. He was a former military vet with 2 children. He was 48 years old. Okay, but he was a defender of black lives. And the Trump administration and Attorney William Barr said that he was not, he did not deserve due process. But look at what they did with Kyle Rittenhouse. That 17-year-old vigilante from Illinois, he killed 2 people and wounded 1 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And then he was allowed to go back home. No fugitive task force, no U.S. Marshals, no FBI tracked him down. Hundreds of thousands of dollars was raised on his behalf for his defense fund.
Sickening.
He was provided with lawyers to fight extradition back to Wisconsin. President Trump praised him as a hero.
Yes. Well,
You see the difference here? You see the hypocrisy here? So Attorney General William Barr shields the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue from the crimes he has committed, while he has presided over the deaths of over 220,000 people because of his bungled pandemic response. And this is the same Attorney General who uses, while he protects the first family, the grifter in chief, who lines his pockets along with his family's pockets, he's coming after Attorney General William Barr is coming after peaceful protesters who are combating inequality and police brutality. How hypocritical can you be with that? But our day is coming. November the 3rd is around the corner. We can push the foot off the neck, push the knee off the necks of those masses yearning to be free. And we can set a course for a new course for justice on November the 3rd. We will wake ourselves up from this nightmare of the last 4 years, this bad dream, and start straightening things out. Thank you very much.
Like you say, November the 3rd, what is that, like 11 days away, 12 days? We got an opportunity to change courses. So if you know folks that haven't voted yet, I know you can vote by mail, the last day was yesterday. If you haven't voted yet, you still go to the Board of Elections all the way on election day to vote. You know people that need to vote, remind them election day is November the 3rd. We got to make sure we not only dump Trump, but when we're talking about individuals at the top that are criminalizing non-violent protesters, that goes all the way to Governor Parsons too. So we got to make sure we get this governor out that one likes to talk a lot of rhetoric and won't give individuals real criminal justice reform. That likes to use in this moment of politics saying, oh, them radical folks, they just want to defund the police. They want to make it where you be scared. Won't be no police service. They gonna come here. It sound like McCauley. That's what Parsons sound like. They like, we're gonna come in their house and take dogs and kill them and just using rhetoric and fear mongering instead of actually doing what's needed. Trump, we also got to make sure we dump Parsons because we need a real governor, Nicole Galloway. That's not gonna be scared to say that Black Lives Matter and then turn around and say all lives matter too. No. We know all lives matter until Black Lives Matter. Clearly all lives should not matter. So the next person I want to bring up to speak real quick is Pete Rose, activist extraordinaire, that's been doing all great work.
Thank you, Rashid. You know, it is great to be here with Expect Us, and it is so good to see their way of doing things. You know, we were going to have this rally over here on the sidewalk, but they decided we're going to reclaim these streets for the people. Because whose streets? That's right. And when those police tried to tell us that these were their streets, we know they were wrong. These streets belong to the people, and they always will. And here on this 25th National Day of Protest Against Police Brutality, we are out here just as we have been since the beginning, and we have demands. If we don't just go out here and we scream, no, no, no police, we have a whole method to do it. So one of the things that CAPCAR and other organizations these days in St. Louis are working on and around the country is working on police union contracts and seeing how we can find these police union contracts and get rid of the loopholes they use to keep their officers from being punished and having any discipline that any other employee at any other job would have. So here at this building, as the St. Louis Police Officers Association, this is the headquarters of the little schemes that Jeff Warner has to make sure that white supremacy and anti-blackness is encoded into the policies of the St. Louis Police Department. But we're going to change that. So every 3 years, this police union contract comes up for review and renegotiation. And it has been the policy for decades that that negotiation takes place behind closed doors. It's something that is done with Jeff Rorda, the white supremacist leader of the police union, and the police officers of the city of St. Louis representing Lyda Cruzan and her interests. Neither of them represent our interests. So we are demanding that we have a place at the table. We are demanding that there be some level of transparency and accountability because this contract matters. What they do is in this contract, they actually determine what is going to be the disciplinary practices for our officers. So we can take to the streets and we can demand that they fire the officers. We can demand that they suspend them. We can demand that they change the investigatory policies. But the problem is that all of that is written into this contract the way it is. So we need to actually change the contract in order to be able to change the policies of the police department. And so what we are doing is we are both here in the city of St. Louis and also in the county where a sergeant's contract is currently being negotiated. We are demanding that the city slow down the process, stop, and wait for there to be more public input on what's going on. We demand that there be a public hearing of the Board of Aldermen where we, the residents and people who work and play in St. Louis come here and say what we want to see in this police union contract, because this contract is policy. This contract is determining what are the rules of engagement for the city of St. Louis and their police. So we are demanding that the Board of Aldermen Public Safety Committee have a public hearing where we can tell them what we think and what we want to go in that document. In addition, we are demanding that ESOP, the Ethical Society of Police, which represents the interests of Heather Taylor's organization, which represents the interests of black and minority officers, we are demanding that they have equal footing to racist white supremacist Jeff Rorda and his police officers. And minority officers and black officers are not allowed to get what they want. So we are demanding that ESOP as well be allowed to negotiate on behalf of their membership and indeed the residents of St. Louis. So we just passed out some of these talking points on what is the CBA. I encourage you to read through them. And I also encourage you to contact Chief Hayden, and I encourage you to contact the Director of Personnel to tell them what you want to happen with this collective bargaining agreement, because we need these changes to happen. And this is a very narrow window. We think that they're going to actually pass it sometime in mid-November, so we have to act now. And this is going to govern at least the next 3 years and probably after that. So please contact them. We need to change the police union contracts. We need to get Jeff Rorda out of his positions of power. And we need to make sure that they are no longer protecting the white supremacist killer cops and all the brutality that they do by hiding behind these contracts.
Everything is short, but as substantive as possible. Keith is giving everybody homework. We want to make sure every time we leave here, we want to educate, but we also want to engage. And so when you leave here, we need you to call your alderperson and let them know that whoever is on that public safety committee, and we know that Joe Vaccaro is the chair. Joe Vaccaro is not going to do anything against police, but he needs to know that we know. He needs to know that we see him. Joe Vaccaro needs to know we see him and we know the position he is in. And so we're asking him, as Keith has said, if the Board of Aldermen people do not have a public hearing on the collective bargaining agreement, then maybe we need to have a people's hearing. And so, and I'm very clear, two things, and then I'll sit down. Number one, there's no way that the police officers union, that the police officers association, that police in this city, as long as Jeff Rorda represents them, there'll be no peace between police and people of color in this city.
That's right.
No matter what else they do, they could change everything else. They can change everything. They can adhere to all of our demands, but as long as Jeff Rorda is the business manager and the representative of the St. Louis Police Officers Association, there could never be positive, productive, good police relationships in the black community.
Say that.
And so that needs to be clear. That needs to be clear. Because in addition to the demands that we're making, in addition to the collective bargaining agreement, Jeff Rorda is a case that we have to deal with. And then secondly, and I've said this, we have black alder people on the Public Safety Committee. We have got the chair of the Board of Aldermen, who is an African American. We've got to start holding our own accountable too. We have to start calling out their names too. And so when we talk about the president of the Board of Aldermen, we want Louis Reed to say something about the collective bargaining agreement and and how we feel. You have Jeffrey Boyd. Jeffrey Boyd is the vice chair of the Public Safety Committee. We want him to say something on our behalf. Jeff Rorda went on the radio the other day and said, well, public citizens should not give input in the collective bargaining agreement. It should be their elected officials. So we're saying to our elected officials, say something. John Collins Muhammad is on the Public Safety Committee. Say something. Because if you don't start speaking up for us, we will start speaking out against you. That's the reality. And so we need to let somebody get the pass on this. don't care if you're black, white, brown, yellow, red, male, female. It does not matter. South side, north side. Nobody gets a pass. It is too important. And so we need to make sure that people understand that. Because there are elections up in this fall next year. And we won't forget. And we're going to look at your NBC report. And we're going to see how much money the St. Louis Police Officers Association has given to you. Hopefully that they have not given you that money, black elected officials, to keep you quiet about issues that affect us. We're calling everybody out. And so right now, we got our brother Carlos Ball.
Hey, lady.
I mean, we can talk about...
Hey. How you doing?
But there are families who have felt it firsthand. And so we have Brother Carlos and Mother Gina. We're going to ask them to come briefly. We've got Trent from WashU after them. Okay. And then we've got an action we've got to do. And then we've got an action.
I mean, I couldn't lay hands.
And y'all listen,
I'm not going to do
do
that.
not be distracted. It only takes one to distract y'all, that's all. Don't be distracted. Back in the day, we handled that. Back in the day, but we don't do that now. Carlos, come on, Cole. And then Mama Gina after that.
All right, guys. All right.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Well, like Reverend Gray said, my name is Carlos Ball. I am the brother of Kerry Ball Jr., the young man who was shot 25 times in downtown St. Louis, April 24th, 2013. So, with me saying that, 2013, you know I've been out here on this fight for 7 years. Some of you all may know me, some of you all may not. But, alongside some of these people, me and my family has beat these streets from the city of St. Louis to Ferguson, to Berkeley, to Shaw, to Washington, D.C., to Cleveland, to New York, all around the United States in the pursuit of justice. But one of the only problems about that is, when my brother was killed in 2013, there was never, and I mean never, a thorough investigation done in the death of my brother, as he was murdered by two officers, Officer Timothy Boyce and Officer Jason Chambers. They stood over him once he fell and shot him 18 more times after he knocked him down. They were so close to him that you could see bullet holes in the ground the size of, that you could put quarters in. We were able to put quarters in the holes on the ground where they stood over my brother. They only reviewed it with the internal affairs. Chief Dotson at the time sent it to the feds to be investigated. It never was investigated. It was only reviewed of what the internal affairs did. So there ain't nothing but the police reviewing what the police did. So there was never an outside entity. They stated that they didn't want to do a thorough investigation because the witness statements were contradictory. But if anybody, and I mean anybody, wants a copy of the police report, the witness statements, the physical evidence, the ballistic report, the only people whose stories contradict or account of what happened that night were the two police officers. So me and my family are still asking that my brother's case be reopened or opened because it was never investigated in the first place. Yeah, it gets hard. It's hard for me to still be out sometimes because my emotions be all over the place. One day I'm good, one day I'm not. Because now there's 7 years of memories I'll never have. And a lifetime of memories I'll never be able to create. Just that small window in which we have. So it's kind of hard, but we're going to continue to fight.
That's right.
And I want to say one more thing. A lot of people like to say, well, y'all only saying this and want to say this to all the white officers are bad and the white people. I say no. Let me tell you something. One of the officers that killed my brother was black. This ain't got nothing to do with race. This is a right and wrong thing. A humane and inhumane thing. It don't take 25 bullets to kill nothing on this earth. I don't care what it is. Especially when you are not being shot at, when a man's hands is in the air, when he is shot in all underlying positions, places in his body, in his armpit, his elbow, his wrist, a lot of places that are hard for you to be shot at if you were pointing a gun, as the police say.
That's right.
That was a bold-faced lie. There's no way a man could be shot in those places if he's pointing anything at them. As I stated, this is a right and wrong thing. But until they start feeling it, they'll never understand. So they want to draw that narrative to try to divide the people. But we ain't going for that shit. And we're going to continue to hold it down, and we're going to keep on fighting until we get justice for all our people. Say his name, Kerry Ball Jr.
Kerry Ball Jr.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Gina Perez. I'm Isaiah Hammond's mother. He was assassinated June 7th, 2017 to a no-knock sergeant warrant. Like Carlos said, it's very hard to be out here. Real hard. It's been over 3 years. October 7th was the 3rd year that I had my son's funeral, 4 months after I had my son killed by the police. It was 4 months it took to where I had to have a funeral, and he had to be cremated. These officers get to go home every night, kiss their babies good night.
That's right.
They get to celebrate their birthdays, they get to have holidays, they get to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. But what do we get? What does my 2 little boys get? And my daughter? They don't get nothing. They don't get to hug their big brother or their big brother take them to the show, take them to school. There has to be something done. We have to take something from these police officers.
That's right.
We have to
They have to feel it like we do.
They have to feel like we do, exactly. Until that happens, they're going to keep killing us. But no, they get their immunity. So why would they stop? They don't give a fuck. Excuse my language, but they really don't. They didn't care when they almost killed my father on top of my son. My father watched my son get murdered into the ground. 93 shots, 24 in my son's body for a house search warrant. All in my son's room, directly to my son's bedroom, because they knew where his bed was, they knew where he was. He's sitting there reading a book, taking care of his grandfather like he did. Since he was 15, he moved in with my father, because my mother passed. It doesn't matter what color you are. There's white, there was all white officers, there's black, but they kill white people too. They don't give a fuck what color you are. They're evil. We have to feel this pain. I never get grandchildren from my son. I'll never get that. Carlos, his kids, they'll never get to see their uncle or get to know their uncle. It's only the memories that we tell them to keep them alive. We have to stick together. There has to be a stop to this. It's going up 3.5 years almost. Nothing's been done with my son's case. My lawyer's still fighting it. 3 years, nothing. I don't know, I get in my feelings. I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm hurt, I cry. I get tired of being out here, I get tired of more people getting killed. I got a lot of rage in me. And every day, I have to do my best not to snap, to put my mind somewhere else. Because my mind, I don't even want to tell you where my mind goes for real. Because I want them to feel the same pain that me and my family feel. Let it happen to their children. I'm sorry, God, but I want it to happen to their children. And let them feel my pain, Carlos's pain, everybody's pain that they have murdered. Thank you.
I just want to thank Mama Gina, one of our mamas in the movement. The way she nurtures us and love on us after she done went through, you know, what she did to losing Isaiah. Also want to thank Carlos and also Mama Tony. Also allowed us to be part of that family, to be able to say the names of the individuals like Mama Gina say. We got a holiday coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We all probably enjoying with our families, but there's some families that some members ain't coming back home and it's never the same. So it hits me different every time I hear them, because you know we do this work because we see individuals like Mike Brown, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. It's one thing to see those individuals and feel that they could be you. That's the reality, but it's another thing to actually been affected by it. So I just always appreciate Carlos and Mama Gina and many other, Mike Brown Sr., Leslie McSpadden, many others that allow us to be out here as we continue to fight for justice, but also be part of their family as they lost their loved ones. Next, I want to bring up a dynamic young person, Marcus, that's going to talk about the importance of why we're here as well.
So, I'm proud to be speaking on behalf of the WashU. I'm proud to be speaking on behalf of the WashU undergraduates and grads workers union. We are continuing with our action that we did 2 weeks ago as we work to defund the St. Louis Police Department. Because a lot of people don't know, but we spend 56% of our general fund to fund these mofos. 56% of our general fund goes to the police state. And then we have black older people talk about lack of investment and they don't support defunding the police. I think it was Reverend Gray who talked earlier about Jeffrey Boyd and Louis Reed and John Collins Muhammad, who say that they stand up for black people, but they aren't willing to touch that police budget. I learned from a wise black voice that all your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. But we have to learn that it is things like this police contract that allow them to get away with what they want to do. And then we have a mayor,
Resign!
a Republican. She's a little distracted about defunding the Pentagon, apparently.
The Pentagon!
She's worried about our beautiful incoming black congresswoman and not about defunding the damn police. So we need folks at local government, y'all know 2021 is around the corner. We need to tell some of these folks, you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this down. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this down. But it is time. On a lesser note, I am tired of seeing black people murdered.
Me too!
I am tired of a police department that isn't accountable. And can I just give one fuck you to Jeff Wood?
Damn right!
bucks. But let me say this, we did get some good news earlier this week. Gentrifier in chief, Joe Rody is retiring. I had to stop the car the other day. I said, who's retiring? Because we have to understand that this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. And we have to look at every area of injustice. But sorry, I dropped my mask. We are working to create a city that is equitable. And it starts by first looking at that police budget. Can you imagine a city that is one of the unsafest in the nation? Yet we are spending 56% of our budget on policing.
That's right.
Yet we have more police officers per capita than most other major cities.
Tell it.
Something's wrong.
Tell it.
Clearly.
We have the city saying we need another damn study to study how policing impacts black and brown bodies like we don't know.
Right.
Like the Ferguson Commission report didn't tell us that shit. I'm sorry. I'm dropping too many bombs, but they angry. We know what's wrong. We know where the issues are.
They'll keep laughing.
They want to keep treating issues like addiction and our sex workers who are doing a job. They want to continue to criminalize poverty in this city, and it is angering. So we have to do the work with this police contract. We have to get Jeff Ward out of there.
He only breaks his
We have to get Mayor Leiter Krustin out of there, a Trump Democrat who is okay with sitting down with white supremacists and giving them the time of day. So I'm just going to leave y'all with that. I'm going to have y'all reflect. I'm going to calm down.
Young people know what's going on, guys. They know what's going on. I think we got a new campaign song come March of next year for the municipal elections. I think it go like, Leiter gonna lose her job. Say what? Leiter gonna lose her job. Say what? Leiter gonna lose her job. Say what? Leiter gonna lose her job. Alright, but that means, don't forget, like we dumping Trump and we dumping Parsons, next year we gonna dump Leiter, because this ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. So next, I want to bring up, oh my, Jesus, where I start with her. I love her so much. I want to bring up the first African American
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are very concerned about a recent tweet that she made, but
It ain't nothing.
not really trying to get to the bottom of what she's talking about. And talking about how we still can defund these large militarized budgets and put them back in the black community, put it back into the community that is going to help people the most. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But next I want to bring up Congresswoman-elect Cori Bush.
So it's good to see you all out here. You know, we got to keep it up. We got to keep up the fight. Even today, on this day that's more like solidarity, but the truth is, we're still fighting for real because they're still killing us. That thing hasn't happened. They're still killing us with impunity. That thing still happens. And so as today, yes, is a day where we're in solidarity across the nation. We got to make sure that people keep the main thing the main thing. And the issue is, have they fixed police brutality, or have they made sure that that thing was never a thing, we could all be at home. But the fact that these folks perpetuate it, the fact that they keep it going, the fact that they allow the people that are in office, that they allow their business buddies to help keep it going, the fact that there is a whole system with DAs and judges all across the country that help keep it going, we have to be here. So I know they probably say, well, Why is the congressperson almost elect, out here on the street? I don't give a freak what they say I should be doing. I know one thing is, if they stop killing us, then we can be at home. So if they don't want me out here, then not only do they need to stop killing us, but they need to come back and fix every family that they broke. And because they won't do that, we're here. And so I say, DTP, defund the police. And I know people get up in arms when we say the word defund, like they did with my tweet. The whole point is, why do we have to beg for food for people that are hungry? Why do we have to beg for clean water and beg for health care and all of that? Why do we have to beg for it? We gotta beg for things that should be all right, and then we also gotta beg you and not kill us? I don't know about you if you've ever been hungry, but I've been so hungry before to where my mind did some things. I had some thoughts I never ever would have thought I would have thought, because I was hungry and my only thought process was to feed my kids. I don't have to eat, but my kids gotta eat. And so I had some thoughts, and I think about how at any moment during that situation or any other time in my life, how I could have made a decision and that could have been the end. How I did make some decisions and that could have been the end. So who are we? Who are they to say who should live and who should die? And so that's why we're out here. Because it's not their right, it's not their job, it shouldn't be their priority to make a decision who should live or die. All we ask you to do is protect the people and serve the people. I'm a nurse. You don't want me being a police officer. I need to stay in my lane. So we're asking the police, stay in your freaking lane and make sure that you're protecting folks that may not look like you. Protect folks that may not be putting money in your pocket. Protect folks that may not have the fancy property. You're supposed to protect all people, and if you can't do it, and let me say this to the camera, if you can't do it, then find another occupation. Nobody says you gotta stay a police officer. Move around. And let me say that even a little more clearly. Move around if you can't do the job right. Because if you go to the grocery store and you work as a clerk, and if you can't do the money right, they're gonna tell you, move on. If you go to a clothing store and you can't fold those clothes right, they're gonna tell you, move on. If you come and work at the clinic where I was and you're messing up giving my patients the wrong amount of insulin, I'ma tell you, move on. And so any place that you are and you can't do the job, you need to move on. You don't get the right to murder our folks, and so we're standing up saying, we're not taking it. We stopped taking it back in 2014. And if you want to stop seeing us, you better fix it. And so we're calling out every single one of our elected officials, every single business owner that has been silent, every single person that feels like they want us to go away. We're calling them out right now on this National Day of protest against police brutality, against criminalization. This day, we say we don't need you if you can't stand with the people. We don't need you if you won't be with us. Because we are the movement that if something happened to you tomorrow, we would stand with you even though you didn't stand with us. We're giving you an opportunity to come on this side and be on the right side of history with the people. So this is your opportunity. And so for those of us that are out here, I'll say this and pass the mic. Remember, your work is not in vain. There is no part of this that is in vain. When we think about every single thing that we've done, regardless of which part of the protest you're a part of, we don't care what the name is. We don't care what the name of the group is. We don't care how long you've been protesting. We don't care how old you are. We don't care. We want none of that matters. None of it matters. What matters is, where is your heart? And your heart has been in this work. So I just want to uplift each and every one of you that are out here right now. Uplift you and remind you that your work is so necessary in this world, and if you don't do it, who will? When you get tired, if you don't do it, who will? When you are tired of activism and it's bothering you, it's hurting you, and you're tired of it, or when you're tired of your friends' performative activism, if you don't show up, who will? That's right. So we need you in this movement, whether you've been here one day or 1,000. We need you. We need you your way. If you come and you're like our sister here, and you live stream the whole thing, been live streaming since 2014, if that's the thing, then that's the thing. If your thing is bringing the food, if that's the thing, that's the thing. If your thing is bringing the water, if that's the thing, that's the thing. If your thing is chanting, that's the thing, that's the thing. If it's bringing a sign, if that's the thing, that's the thing. But if you don't show up, the sign wouldn't be here. If Heather didn't show up, the live stream wouldn't be here. If Rev didn't show up, then the preacher, that particular preacher wouldn't be here.
Come on now.
So remember, no matter what it's looking like, even when the numbers are this low, step in to your purpose and stay in this movement. And if you weren't doing it before, step in to your purpose. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So we need you, and then what you get here, you take that to your job. You take that to your school. You take that to your family. You gonna make St. Louis an anti-racist community. You do that. You do that. And if each and every one of us work on that, we put that together, that's how we'll see the change. So, are we doing this together, y'all? No. Are we doing this together, y'all? All right. Well, we'll see in 1 year when we come back and we have to have this day again. We want to see some real change in St. Louis, and that begins with us. Thank you.
All right, in the beginning, Keith Rose said, it made me smile. Keith said the cap cars was, they were going to do this thing on the sidewalk. We don't do sidewalks. Who street? Who street? Who street?
Thank you for being you, sis. I love you.
We don't do sidewalks. And my wife made me laugh because when we moved the car up here to block off over here, and she was sitting in the driver's seat, and one of the officers walked over to her, and she locked the door. And so I went over there and I said, well, darling, why'd you lock the door? She said, well, I wasn't getting out, and you wasn't getting in. I said, all right. I said, it's all good. Now, we've got some work to do. Now, y'all know us. We don't just come out and just talk. We're action-oriented. We have to always, so we're going to ask y'all. Now, those of you who are watching the streets on that side, we need you to stay on that side. We got the cars here. But everybody else, we need you to come on in. Y'all just move on in. Don't arrest us, arrest the police. No justice, no peace. Hey, what? Don't arrest us, arrest the police. No justice, no peace. Say what? Don't arrest us, arrest the police.
No justice, no peace.
Say what? Don't arrest us, arrest the police.
No justice,
no peace. I said, don't indict us, indict the police.
no justice,
No peace. Say what? Don't indict us, indict the police.
no justice,
No peace. I said no justice.
no peace,
I said no justice.
no peace,
I said no justice.
no peace.
I said no racist.
Police,
I said no racist.
police.
All right, now, Rashina, I'm gonna put this down for a minute. We got some. I want Rasheen to explain. I don't know if he has already.
Urban Guerrilla. Urban Guerrilla.
We need to explain this casket, and then after we explain the casket, then we're gonna do something else. Yeah, well, I'm older.
So, y'all know, Corey brought up a great point. And this movement, well, we all family. I always said, if you are out here fighting for the liberation of black people, you out here for the revolution,
however you look at it, if you out here to create change, you a part of this family. Now everyone got a role to play. You know, some people gonna be the Heathers live stream, the Richards of taking a video and putting it on Facebook so we can see the images the next day. You're gonna have my sister and my uncle who's the pastors, the activists, and the elected officials. Somehow we all play a role. And I just want to give a shout out to our activist community who plays a huge role.
Yeah! No doubt.
I meant to say artivist, but y'all clapped anyway. But it's all good. Our artivist community. Okay, we're going to clap for that too. Artivist. Because it's so important to also, you know, use art. If it's art, poetry, music, to be able to express, to be able to get a point across. But it's also healing. It's something I learned in Ferguson. I never really did art. But then I met a Vega, and Elizabeth Vega, many of us know her. And she explained to me how art can be healing. How art can also get your message across from just protesting, but also having an art piece to display the point that you're trying to get across. So, I want to give a shout out to our artists. What they made for us is similar to what was made back in 2014. They did a casket then. I think back then that casket had like a mirror, and we took it out to Ferguson. And it was like right in front of the police face so they can understand and feel the pain of what many of us have to see over and over again of our loved ones, or friends, or cousins, down in a casket where, like Carlos said, no longer, Mama Gina said, that she'll be able to see her son, but she had to take the time with her other kids to put away one of her children that was taken too soon. So what they did is they created us a casket. And a lot of times we say the names of the Sandra Blands. We say Sandra, we say Carrie Ball, Isaiah, Von Derek Myers, Mike Brown. We know those names quite often. We know them too much. That's a problem. But what we don't know is a lot of the names of the officers that have murdered individuals in the city of St. Louis, and either are still on the force, maybe moved to the county, but no disciplinary actions.
Murdered more than one person.
Murdered more than one person, and still on the force. So this casket also, I'm gonna need some light. I need your phone rail. At the top of it, I think is important what they put at the top. The top says, defund the police. Yeah. Let's get a clap for that. Defund the police. Tell them y'all demand. I said, tell them y'all demand. I said, tell them y'all demand. All right, I got 20/20 sometimes. So what it says, and I'm just going to read the top one, then we're going to move into the action. It says, defund the police is not a call to completely dismantle the STLPD. It is a call to reappropriate significant percentages to the total policing budget, preventative crime reduction strategies. So like Marcus said earlier, when we talking about defund the police, when we talking about the police budget, which makes up, what is it, 56% of the city's budget, and we still have high crime. They like to talk about we down police officers. I mean, when we had enough police officers in our budget, but public safety was still over, and we still had high crime. So something's not working. And the amount of money, our taxpayer dollars, that we keep putting to this society and agency that is only protecting some but not all, isn't keeping North Side safe, isn't keeping South Side safe, isn't keeping, well, in the Central West End where light is, they are being safe. Remember who's there.
McCluskey.
And McCluskey's. But for the ones that need us safety the most, it isn't happening. So what we got here is a gift that we're going to leave for them so they can see all their friends and colleagues' name on this casket that represents the amount of times that we done had to say countless names, the amount of times that families like Gina and Carlos had to either put away their child, their loved one, or someone that they knew. So I'm gonna turn this over to Rev to get some chants going, and I'm gonna ask for 3 volunteers just to come over here so y'all can help me out real quick.
Now let's do this. Bring the banner over, because obviously they're looking out the window. So, but it don't matter. Come this way. Come this way.
No justice. No peace. I said no justice. No peace. I said no justice. I need some volunteers. I said no justice. No peace. I said no racism. Police. 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 No justice. No peace. I said 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 no racism. Police. No racism. Police. No racism. Police. No racism. Police. I said no justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Water before y'all put more in there.
I tried. It went down. It went.
As they put in the water, we're gonna put some demands in there. One of the demands is equal access and benefits for our east side.
Y'all need to remember, somebody has to bury their child. Their loved one, that's a heavy burden. We're going to give them a heavy burden for tomorrow.
Next demand ends to seniority of police officers. Another birthday, y'all gonna stop killing us.
So, we don't have anything to start here.
Was that all the demands?
Can you? Well, I got a machine. I know, I got a. Well, you guys, look at my guy. Look at my guy. Look at my guy.
Let me call you right back.
Look at the brother.
I'm trying to
All right. I'll call you right back. How many bags?
6.
How many bags do we have?
6.
6 50-pound bags.
Yeah, that's 300 pounds.
Okay.
I think I left 200 in there.
You should have brought it.
This is quick drying cement too.
Quick dry. Yeah, it sets up fast.
Yeah.
It sets up fast.
The good news is that this is quick drying. But we may have to stay here just for a minute just to make sure, because you do know that as soon as we leave,
they're coming out.
as soon as we leave, they're coming out. Whose street?
Our streets.
Whose street?
Our streets.
Whose street?
Our streets.
Whose street?
Our streets.
Tell them your demand.
The police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
I said, tell them your demand.
Defund the police.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get no justice,
then they don't get no peace.
I said, if we don't get no justice,
then they don't get no peace.
I said, if we don't get no justice,
then they don't get no peace.
I said, if we don't get no justice,
then they don't get no peace.
I said, no justice.
No peace.
I said, no justice.
No peace.
I said, no justice.
No peace.
I said, no racism.
Police.
I said, I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we go in.
I believe that we go in.
Say,
I know.
I know that we go in.
I know that we go in.
Say, I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we go in.
I believe that we go in.
Say,
I know that we go in.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
The people wanna know.
The people wanna know
who we are.
Who we are.
So we tell them.
So we tell them.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
We are the people.
We are the people.
The mighty, mighty people.
The mighty, mighty people.
Fighting for justice.
Fighting for justice.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Fighting for justice.
Fighting for justice.
Justice for the people.
Justice for the people.
Justice for the people.
Justice for the people.
Black Lives Matter.
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 I'm gonna say this real quick. We're gonna go back to chant. I appreciate Cori Bush being out here, y'all. Right now, because she is the Democratic nominee, I'm sure there are people whispering in her ear saying, "Don't go. Don't go. Don't go." You don't know what they may do. You don't know what they may say. You don't want that to be attributed to you. Don't go. There are people whispering in her ear, "Don't go. Cori, don't go out there." Somebody might do something or say something that might be attributed to you, and that could hurt you, or that could hurt somebody else. Don't go. Cori's made it very clear who she is. She's made it very clear. She was Cori Bush before she got the nomination. She's Cori Bush after the nomination. She's going to be Cori Bush when she gets inaugurated. She's going to be Cori Bush. And that's the reality. And those are the kind of elected officials we need. Those who are not afraid to show up. Even when it's controversial. That's the reality. Some don't get it. And so that's why Cori keeps showing up. And she takes heat for showing up, y'all. She takes heat for showing up. She takes heat for speaking out. She takes heat for saying things now that she said yesterday and last year. Why should it be any different? We don't want Cori to change. And when she comes out here, y'all need to know when she shows up at an action from Capcom, or Respect Us, or Expect Us, or Occupy, or Action STL, she's taking a chance. She's taking a political risk. But Cori has done that since 2014. She continues to take risks for the people. And so I want to make sure that we say that and we acknowledge that. Because my wife told me I can't cuss, but that shit ain't easy. It's not easy, y'all. And so we need to, and we need other elected officials, especially black elected officials, to stop hiding. To stop hiding. Stop hiding. Because we're going to mess around and let everybody know that developers control you.
Yep, that's right.
That the police officers union controls you. That Civic Progress controls you. That the Regional Chamber of Commerce controls you. Or you're just happy with the 32% of the damn votes you got when you got elected, so you don't want to do anything to hurt that. This stuff is real. This is real. And like I said, I'm glad y'all are out here, but we holding everybody accountable. Everybody. Nobody gets a damn pass. Nobody. Nobody. So thank you, Cori, for always showing up. Thank you. Thank you for always showing up. Thank you for always showing up. Where we at, Christina? Is it dry? I don't know if it may not be dry, but I know it's heavy. Oh yeah, where's that? Oh Lord. Forget the police. Somebody said forget the police. FTP, forget the police. Somebody else said FTP might mean free to people. I don't know.
There's a lot of water in there.
Yeah. But the reality is, we wanted, but once again, we wanted the heavy burden that people have to face every day, those heavy burdens.
That'll get it.
And I'll tell you something else.
That'll get it.
You are creative.
There you go.
Hey, that's what this movement is all about.
That'll get it done.
We are going to disrupt. We are going to disturb. We are going to disrupt. We are going to disturb. But we are not going to destroy. But you know what? We always say too, everybody has their method. Our method is nonviolent. We don't judge. Everybody has their method. Ours is nonviolent. Amen? All right. Okay. Well, that should do that. All right. Anybody else from Capcom? You have any closing words, Capcom folk? Anybody else? Keith? Mother Jamala, anybody from Capcom want some closing words? Machine, ready to close it out? I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. I'll read the top. I'm going to read the top. It says, the top of the casket says, since 2000, 78 community members were fatally shot or tased by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Because the last thing we want are people leaving here not knowing why they came. Because somebody might ask you, what did you learn while you were down there? It can't just be this. We can't just be doing this. We've got to take information back. So as Congresswoman Bush said, then we can expand the movement. We can only expand the movement through knowledge. Since 2000, 78 community members were fatally shot or tased by the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. The total number of victims killed by the police is unknown. The total number of victims killed by the police is unknown. Within this same time span, 11 on-duty city officers were killed by gunfire, vehicle pursuit, car crash, and heart attack. Within this same time span, 11 on-duty city officers were killed by gunfire, vehicle pursuit, car crash, and heart attack. We remember all victims. And we stand outside the police station. We remember all victims, named and unnamed, of punitive, combative, reactionary policing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we say today.
That's right.
And that's why this is important.
That's
why this annual commemoration is important. And now when we leave here tonight, realize that we still got stuff to do. Somebody said to us that they thought that this was just a seasonal thing.
Oh, no.
Just a summer.
Yeah.
Somebody thought this was just a seasonal protest.
Kumbaya.
That's what they said. They said right after George Floyd, when it gets cold, and then Breonna Taylor, and then Jacob Blake, and they keep dying and they keep getting shot. And we said that every time it happens, we're going to show up. Every time it happens, expect us.
Yeah.
Every
Expect
time it happens, expect us. I don't care what season it is in. We always need to be prepared to show up and to speak up. And so we're going to close. And don't be distracted. Because it's all good. We're here today. Ohan would normally close for us. Ohan would normally close, so I guess I might have to close. Can you, it is our duty? Y'all ready? Yeah. Let me get in the middle then. Ohan would normally do this. I'm no Ohan. I'm no Ohan. I'm no Ohan. Y'all remember? Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Come on, Real.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
People want to know.
The people want to know
who we are.
Who we are.
So we tell them.
Oh, we tell them.
We are the people.
We are the people.
The mighty, mighty people.
The mighty, mighty people.
Fighting for justice.
Fighting for justice.
Justice for the people.
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 Mother Jamal and Keith and those with Cap Carter just come out here. With respect, we do this at the end, Mother Jamal, and at the end, Brother Johnson. We do this at the end of all of the protests that we do. We do this. You want to do it for Ohan?
Oh, yeah.
You do this because you...
Let me get back in my right space. Pull me out of socket. But at the end of every action, what we do is we remind each other. Come on, Rim, I need some of that jump. Don't my people want to jump. And, you know, it was a chant we started in 2014 that we always used to do before we leave Ferguson. We remind each other no matter the bullshit, because I had to say it, no matter the bullshit, no matter the small shit, no matter the shit at all, because at the end of the day, we all dying. That we all family. We disagree, we argue, but at the end of the day, we family. We family, we talk it out, we figure it out, and then we move on. There's too much shit out here to worry about petty shit. So we move on. So it's a chant that we said when we left Ferguson to remind each other that we in this fight together. No matter how you approach it, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. The system that's in place is not working. So I'm going to ask y'all to repeat yourself, or repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect each other. 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 We have nothing to lose but our chains. 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 We have nothing. We have nothing. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Ashe. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Capcom. Thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate it.
We don't have the money.
Y'all gonna stop killing us. Y'all gonna stop killing us. Y'all gonna stop killing us.